There we go. Okay, so we're talking Pinterest. This is not going to be a formal Pinterest training because I'm still learning too, and but I did take a course in Pinterest because I don't know. I can't remember if you guys know. Wait, I'm gonna. So anyway, so I'm taking a Pinterest training. I took a Pinterest training. It was a 4-week class online, and I got some good information. To be totally honest with you, the ending I still haven't finished. I haven't completed it because it's a bunch of stuff, and it's all great information. So I'm going to kind of catch you up to date on what I've done already with my Pinterest account. I want to start by saying I think Pinterest makes the most sense if you have a blog. I think there are ways to use it if you don't have a blog, but I think that anybody that has a blog, Pinterest probably makes a ton more sense for. And I think for me, it also would depend, of course, on your market and if your market is on Pinterest. And what really piqued my interest about Pinterest for me was that, so I have a blog. It's still kind of in a work in progress. I haven't seen that much direct sales. I have people that are interested. I have people that go to it, whatever. So I'm certainly learning as I go as well. But what interested me about Pinterest was that I can tell from my Google Analytics, which is the way when you have a blog, you connect it to Google Analytics and you can see how many people are visiting and what has brought them to your site. And Pinterest for me is like leaps and bounds ahead of any other source of getting people to my blog. And I wasn't even active on Pinterest. I just had pinned a couple of things and whatever. And I was like, oh, I need to go there because clearly the people coming to my blog are on Pinterest. So that's what interests me about Pinterest. It's also like when I talk to people in what I consider my niche, they talk about Pinterest all the time. So I think it's a natural fit for me. So just think about that if you're, I'm thinking that you guys who are on here, when you saw the Pinterest thing, that you must have some interest in it. Maybe you're thinking your niche is on there too. So okay, so we're going to talk about that for a second. So are you guys all familiar with Pinterest in general? I'm going to show you my Pinterest page just so you can get an idea of what it looks like. Hang on, let me share my screen. Okay, so you can do Pinterest on your phone. You can do it on the computer, which is really nice that you can do it wherever. So it's just pinterest.com. And when you go onto Pinterest, and if anybody wants to jump in, because again, I'm still learning this too. So basically, Pinterest is like a magazine and it's picture oriented as well. But you also get to put in these little, the title, you can see where it's from, and you can put a little description in. Anybody that's using Pinterest already, this question came up before. Pinterest is not hashtags. You don't use hashtags for Pinterest, and you're not supposed to put in the description any kind of website. So you would not put like this picture, whatever this is, salmon, with a website here. You notice that nobody does that. So this is just kind of Pinterest etiquette 101. And the pictures are usually very pretty. I mean, not that you couldn't take them on your phone, you certainly could, but they're usually not like, fuzzy. Like I wouldn't put a selfie of me like exercising or something. That's not necessarily Pinterest appropriate. But what you kind of want to do is entice them to click on the picture. So let's pick this salmon one. If you click on this picture, then I can pin it. We'll talk about that in a second. But ultimately what you want them to do is say, ooh, that looks really good. In this case, this recipe. And then you go visit the website and you get the other information. So in this case, you would get the recipe for this Pinterest, for this picture. And so now this person has got me to their blog. So what the idea would be that I would be on the blog and I'd be like, oh, that looks good. And I might pin it, which I'll show you in a second. Or ideally what she would probably want from me is that I would sign up for something. I would subscribe to something. And I would be like, oh, I got to go back to this iFoodReal.com later. So that's kind of the whole idea behind Pinterest. Or people who are marketing for Pinterest. The whole idea is that we're sharing things. Okay, so let me go back a second here. So then on my, so these are all kind of like suggested things and things that Pinterest has put in front of me that may be based on stuff. I don't actually know how the algorithms work, why these particular pictures are in front of me, but this is what came up when I went to Pinterest. But for me, so this is my little picture. Oh, wait, I gotta move this. My picture here. So I'm gonna go to my profile. And so you can write it, connect it to your blog, and that would be, so if any of you that have blogs that aren't connected, we can do that together later if you want to. And it's connected to my Facebook and Twitter, and you can put a little description in here. And I'm going to be changing this and my picture soon, but this is what I have for now. And then I have 19 boards, 461 pins, 56 likes, 433 followers, and I'm following 846 people. Those numbers don't necessarily mean anything. I don't actually know. The person that taught the training that I was part of basically was saying it doesn't really matter how many followers you have, because your pins can go viral whether somebody is quote unquote following you or not. So I'm personally not too concerned with that, but just so you're aware of what that is. Okay, so then these are the boards here. And you can create any kind of board you want just by clicking on this plus button. And you can title it anything you want, and then you can start pinning anything you want. So, so for our sake, because we're doing this as a business, what the suggestion is of these first 2 rows of boards, and mine isn't quite, this one shouldn't be here. But anyway, I'll change that afterward. Should be your brand, essentially. So what message are you trying to communicate to somebody who's come to your Pinterest page? So so far I have the most people come to my blog for recipes, and I'm gonna keep working on those, but I also want to throw in some other things too. But so for example, I've been pinning the weight loss success stories that I've been doing, those little things that I'm posting in some of the groups and stuff, and I've pinned those pictures. So that one, so I have healthy dinner recipes, fitness, mom, inspiration tips, healthy breakfast. And then I have other boards down here too. And so you kind of get the idea. That one thing that's really worth thinking about is which picture is your, I forget what this is called, the picture on top. But it should, if you can, look pretty and not be, so here's a bad example of one, this right here. Shouldn't be there, because what is that? It doesn't make sense. So anyway, so that's kind of the basics of the pins, or the boards rather. So let me go back and pin something, so in case you guys haven't done that before. Okay, so let's see, how about if we pin this giant salads one? Okay, so I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to say, oh, I like that. So I'm going to pin it. And then I get to pick the board I want to pin it to. So I have a salads board. Here it is, salad ideas. And I could change this description if I want, or I can leave it. And then I just say pin it. And that's the end. And now it will be on my salad board. And they're telling me there that I could pin the next, they're suggesting something else, or suggesting that I follow this, it's a BuzzFeed, so it's not a person, I don't think, but I could follow that if I want to. And that's easy enough, right? So simple. So you can pin other people's stuff, you can pin things directly from Pinterest, or you can pin your own photos and create links back to your own blog. Okay, so let's see. So the first thing we talked about in this training was why Pinterest is important. So what I'm learning is that Facebook, although Facebook has the biggest number of people on it, I don't know how many, 1 billion or something crazy. It's actually doing not as well right now with the number of people who actually get to see your stuff. As you probably know, anybody that has a like page right now could probably tell you that Facebook isn't showing it to as many people. So the conversion rates from Facebook are going way down. But on Pinterest and Instagram, it's the opposite. So there's not quite as many people, but the people that are seeing your stuff is more. So that's why Pinterest and Instagram are two that that I'm personally going to start shifting to a little bit, because I can tell from my own Facebook that a lot of people aren't seeing what I'm doing, and it's not because I'm posting different stuff. It's just because it's the way Facebook is right now. I think they want us to pay is pretty much the bottom line. So so Pinterest is really great because it's what they call evergreen. So meaning that your picture, so as you know on Facebook, you put it on there, people like it that day, hopefully. By the next day, it's pretty much down in the news feed, and by day 2, it's like gone, like nothing, like as if you didn't post it almost. But on Pinterest, it's evergreen, meaning it just stays. And if somebody likes it or pins it, then it gets back in the mix again, and it goes around and around, and it could be there forever. That's basically what evergreen means. So that's why Pinterest is pretty cool, because it can, your one post from like a year ago, or your one picture from a year ago could come back around, could still be cycling, could be going viral, whatever. And that's what's happened to me on one of my recipes. Actually, 2 of my recipes now have one of them, and it's so funny because it's like not anything special in my opinion, but it's a chicken salad recipe and a picture of popcorn. I'm not kidding you. And the chicken salad one, I think I'm up to like 10 or 11,000 people have come to my blog because of this one recipe. And now I have another one, the popcorn one has also brought several thousand people to my blog. It's so bizarre. I literally took a picture of popcorn. It's so funny. But anyway, not my best work, but you never know. So those are the good reasons for Pinterest. Another one is that Pinterest is actually search engine optimized, SEO. So Google, when you're Googling something like chicken salad, it will pull up Pinterest recipes or Pinterest pictures or Pinterest whatever. So that's another key of why Pinterest is really a great option. And you can actually search, and I'll show you this in a few minutes here. You can actually search for the keywords that other people are looking for so that you can name your pin appropriately, which is really cool. We'll do that in a minute here. Okay, but let me tell you a little bit more about Pinterest. So Pinterest, you should brand yourself just the same way you would on your website, on your Facebook page or whatever. And that branding thing keeps coming up over and over and over again, knowing who you are, who you're posted to, who's your market, who's your niche, all those things. There is the option, I don't know how to do it yet, but there is the option of promoting a pin. So you can pay a little bit, just like you can on Facebook, to get your pin in front of more people. Actually, you can see right over here, this one is promoted. Let me move this up a little bit. Whoops. There we go. This one is promoted here. So I haven't done that yet, and I don't have much to tell you about that yet, but when I do that, I will let you know. Okay, the other cool thing you can do on Pinterest is create secret boards. And why would you want to do that? So one would be because you want to develop a board before you post it. Another reason is because it doesn't fit with your brand, but it interests you. So maybe your brand is all about clean eating, but you also like chocolate desserts or something, and you want to pin those, so you could create your secret chocolate desserts board or whatever. Or maybe your brand is all about helping moms, but you also craft, and crafting doesn't have anything to do with what you're trying to do for your business. So that would be reasons why you'd want to have secret boards. But another one would be, and we have one for this for one of our challenge groups. So I created the secret board. And I gave access only to the people in our challenge group. And so I invited them to be collaborators. So this is considered a group board. And all you do is invite people to your secret board, and you either need to know their Pinterest or their email. And you just type it in. So here are all the people in our secret board. Melanie, I think you're on here, although I can't see you. For some reason, you're still not showing as approved. So I think maybe it's still in your email. I'm not sure, but we can talk about that later. So anyway, so all these people are pinning stuff to our secret board, and it's just kind of cool because it kind of gives them the feel that like there's something special, and it is kind of special. It's kind of cool. So they're posting healthy recipes here, and it makes them feel like we got something kind of secret. I don't know. a little club here. Plus, it's really nice because just like in Facebook in general, when they posted these recipes on the news feed, you know, they got buried down and down and down, and people were like, oh, I really wanted to check that recipe, and it was hard to find, and now it's easy to find. Okay, so that's Secret Board. And then, okay, let me do this first, and then I'll do the SEO one. So the other cool thing that you can do if you're creating your own images for your own blog or whatever, I did not know this existed. Maybe some of you already know this, but there are suggested sizes for your pictures for Pinterest. And let me show you that PicMonkey has them ready to go for you. How about that? The size is 735 by 1330. So Pinterest, like the best Pinterest pinnable is actually long, which is, I mean, I think it's kind of silly because of course, you know, Instagram is square and Facebook is actually kind of stretched out a little bit. So of course, Pinterest needs to be long. So of course, you'll never have the perfect image that goes to all of them, but that's okay. So you can actually, in a PicMonkey here, if you wanted to make it, what do I want to say, the best, what do I want to say, the ideal size for Pinterest, you can actually go here and pick Pinterest pin, and that's the proper Pinterest size. So you can do that with your own photos. You can crop them appropriately, or if you're creating one, you can just make it a Pinterest size. And there you go. You can also do that in Canva, although it's the Canva one isn't the exact measurements for some reason. So if any of you are working in Canva, I mean, yeah, in Canva here you can go here to Pinterest graphic, and it's a little bit different. It's not quite as long. So I guess it's like better that, but for some reason the PicMonkey one is considered the correct size, and this one is like the second best. So
I was gonna say, Kathleen, you can do custom dimensions in Canva too.
Oh,
I noticed that too. It was much smaller. So up in the right hand corner, you can just type in like 730 by.
there you go.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so yeah, so 735 by 1330. Well, I didn't know that, so there you go. Okay, let's see. So let's go to the SEO thing, and then I do want to show you one quick little video from the group. Okay, so this is pretty fancy schmancy, so hopefully you won't get too overwhelmed when I show you this. So if you go to adwords.google.com, this is where you can find out what the best words are to use for your images. And it doesn't have to match the words that you put on the image themselves. This is what you're naming your pin. For those of you who are blogging, this would be when you're trying to use the SEO Yoast or the keyword searches and stuff like that. So here we are, adwords.com, and we're going to go to tools. I honestly don't know what the other stuff means here, so sorry. I only know this part. So tools and then keyword planner.
Kathleen, when you say this is what you use to name it,
Mm-hmm.
are you saying like when you pin a picture on the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
that like what the little description, is that what you're saying this is for?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. So this Asian lettuce wraps or raspberry banana ice cream.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Yep. Okay, so we're going to search for new keywords. And I'm going to use, let's see, what can we use? Let's do my chicken salad one. So chicken salad. Okay, so let's get ideas for chicken salad. Now, the next one is you want to go to keyword ideas here. And basically what this does is shows you what people have searched on Google for in the past few months. So chicken salad is actually a really good. maybe, and this is me, I'm still pretty new at this myself, so as I learn more, I'll certainly share with you, but this might be a better idea, chicken salad recipe, because look at that, has more people are searching for that, 90,000 people versus 74,000. Although I think 1,000 is actually good. So 74 is crazy. And the other thing you want to look at is competition. So it's low competition. So you want high number of searches and you want this word to be low. So the other words would be medium or high, and that means there's a lot of competition and you don't want to compete, because we're never going to compete with like the bigwigs. So for example, another example would be 21 Day Fix. So we don't want to compete with the bigwigs because Beachbody will always win. So see how this says high? So that would never be our keyword, 21 Day Fix, because we'll never win that. But we could go down here and find another one, 21 Day Fix meal plan. That would be a better idea. So I'm talking about things you would want to name your pin. I wouldn't, none of these, so you would never want to like show your containers and have a pin be named 21 Day Fix containers, because you won't win, because this is a high competitive competition. Or 21 Day Fix Beachbody. But look, you could put 21 Day Fix results and you'd have low competition. So these are just little tricks, again, no expert, but so when you're naming your pin, so what I've done now is gone back through my blog recipes and I've renamed a couple because some of them were getting like, nobody was searching for it, you know what I mean? And I had just named them, so I don't know, I named them randomly. So now I'm going back through and like, okay, thinking through what might people be looking for, and then changing the names up a little bit. Let me try to think of another example.
Kathleen, when you say that you won't win, do you mean that people aren't going to be coming to your post or to your pin?
Oh, okay, good point. So when I say that, I'm saying like, so somebody's searching Google for 21 Day Fix. If they type in Google, if they literally type in 21 Day Fix into Google, the top one is going to be not you, not me, none of us. It's going to be Beachbody, or whoever has bought that. Maybe Melanie Mitchell bought that. I don't know. But it's not, we're not paying for anything, so we're not going to be at the top of the Google search. But if we pick other keywords like 21 Day Fix meal plan, maybe we can get higher up in the Google rankings. That's what search engine optimization means, that somebody's searching on Google for you for this term, and the lower the competition, but the higher the number of people looking, the more likely it is that they might find you. Does that make sense? Okay. So the other things you can do is just play around with it a little bit. Just so maybe you're going to look at I don't know, ab workouts. Maybe you wanted to post something about that. So ab workouts seems like it might be okay to do. You might want to. I think there might be strategy, and I don't know it yet, in not going for the ones with the highest number. So that 110,000, but maybe one with 6,000 people. So maybe you might want to say stomach exercises or abs exercises versus ab workout. Anyway, so I don't know. I have to do some more research myself on that, but this was just something they pointed out in the Pinterest training, which I find very interesting because this is actually Google, and that's what makes Pinterest so great, is that Google and Pinterest is Google searchable. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so I wanted to, let me stop sharing just for a second. I wanted to play one of their little videos for you, but can I just get an idea, how many of you have blogs, and how many of you would be pinning back to like your Facebook or something like that? I know Terry has a blog. Andrea, are you doing a blog? Wait, let me unmute you.
That's why I wrote down a couple questions.
Oh yeah, good.
Because I'm working on developing a blog, but I'm not very familiar with like how to blog, and I'm not the best writer. So I don't know if that would be a strength for me, but I like the idea of a blog. So what would you recommend? Like mine is just like a Blogspot page right now. Would you recommend investing in somebody to build a blog and then building a Pinterest page, or like what's the best route for that?
Well, okay, so I'm certainly no expert. I feel like my best advice to you would be, if you're not if you wouldn't be a blogger, then maybe you don't want to have a blog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if it's not going to be something you want to do or you would find fun, or you know what I mean, then maybe it's not your best. And maybe the people you're looking for aren't looking for blogs either. You know what I mean? So, and people have very successful businesses without blogs. So I guess what I'm saying is that if it's not really of interest to you, then it maybe isn't the best investment. And maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe there's the other social medias might be better fits. I guess I would say I wouldn't force myself into doing something that I'm interested in doing.
And it doesn't make sense to post or pin on Pinterest if you don't have a blog?
Well, that's what I was just going to show you. So there's this other little video they have where you can pin back to your other accounts, your Facebook or your Instagram or your YouTube. And I just want to play that for you guys because I feel like it would be better than me trying to explain it. But I do think with Pinterest, and I could be totally wrong, but I think that the best use of it is to direct them back to something, because you're not going to be developing a really good relationship with somebody from Pinterest. There's a way to message, but I don't think people even know. Many people don't even get that you can message each other through Pinterest.
I mean, one thing I've noticed, I have a few boards on Pinterest, not a lot. I started them, when I was in the middle of a project, for instance, if my children were getting married, and I started looking for pictures and posting them to my boards. And what I started to notice was that people, like you said, are following my boards. I don't know who they are, but I get messages that so-and-so is following them. So, and I guess they're just looking for the fun of it. It's not going to a blog.
Yeah, so
I guess if you're connected to like a Facebook page.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So you'd want to connect it to something, which that's the other thing I was going to say to you, Andrea, is that you can have a blog just be like a landing page. It doesn't have to be like an updated ongoing narrative. It could just be at one place to direct people that would maybe have like an application, or maybe like just a good description of what you do that would point them on to the next thing, like your Facebook or wherever you want to have your business. But to your question, Sharon, so I think that people follow each other because maybe they were getting married themselves, or maybe their child was getting married, you know what I mean? Or maybe they just think you have really good taste in whatever you were pinning, you know what I mean? I think that's generally why people follow each other.
So I never pinned anything. I just did a search. I shouldn't say, let me correct that. I did a search, and when I found things that I liked, I pinned them to my boards. Like I made boards like what you were saying.
Yeah.
But I've never taken a picture or something I made and posted it.
Yes.
Like what you were showing at the beginning.
Yes. Right.
So that would be interesting to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I came in and I didn't see how you started, where like that first point is to get it posted on Pinterest. I know how to search for something. I know how to create the pin
Yes.
to the boards, but how to post something.